And his obituary came in the local paper. But of course, he'd never been there in the first place.
Garbo is busy in the Dover area sending false reports. He even warns his controller in Madrid to beware of Allied tricks. With tongue-in-cheek, he says, "It is deplorable that those in Germany should give credence to the great majority of them." Hitler is so impressed with the quality of Garbo's information that he awards him the Iron Cross. He never realizes that he has given his country's highest Medal of Honor to a British spy. There are other key figures engaged in the art of sabotage. Two Norwegian double agents are given the codenames Mutt and Jeff. Together, they send phony reports to Germany about a phantom army based in Scotland that is part of a plan to invade Norway. They cannot disguise the fact that the Allies are planning to invade France. But they can suggest the Allies are also preparing to attack other parts of Hitler's empire. This part of the scheme is called Operation Fortitude. It is a mass deception, with hundreds of thousands of imaginary soldiers scattered throughout Britain. One of the most elaborate hoaxes of the war. By late 1943, the Nazi High Command is expecting an Allied invasion across the English Channel to France. But they are not sure if this is the only assault the Allies are planning. They suspect the one on France is a diversion for a more serious assault elsewhere. Operation Fortitude North, part of Operation Bodyguard, exploits this Nazi fear. The Allies draw up a detailed plan in which two imaginary British divisions land at Narvik in northern Norway. They hope to attract German divisions and make the Germans believe that an attack on France is dependent on Allied success there. Meanwhile, plans for another imaginary invasion are also underway, this time using real troops. The presence of a British Fourth Army is established in Scotland. Many of the troops involved, including the 3rd Infantry Division, believe they are actually preparing to invade Norway. They even train rigorously in mountain warfare. To add to the illusion, the Firth of Forth in Scotland is packed with warships and transport craft to be used at Normandy. A carrier-borne aerial reconnaissance of Narvik is carried out in April 1944. Fake radio traffic is broadcast from Edinburgh Castle. Requests for 1,800 ski bindings and other winter supplies reinforce the imaginary Norwegian invasion. Other phony radio messages inquire about the performance of tank engines in sub-zero temperatures. It is all fabricated, and it is all picked up by German radio interceptors. In a brilliant move, deception planners even fill local newspapers with reports of marriages and other social events involving soldiers of the Fourth Army. Simultaneously, a diplomatic hoax called Operation Grafum, aimed at Sweden, is being developed. The stock market in Stockholm is rigged to raise the price of Norwegian securities, as if Sweden is expecting the liberation of its neighbor. British and Swedish operatives suddenly increase diplomatic activity between the two countries and raise the prospect that Sweden will act as a non-combatant policeman during the fighting in Norway. The bombardment of intelligence has its desired effect on Nazi Germany. some 18 divisions of German soldiers, nearly 200,000 men, are kept in ready alert in Scandinavia. Even Hitler is taken in. He does not want to see his Nordic realm under-defended. In May, he sends another first-class fighting division to protect it. The bluff has worked. Slowly but surely, the formidable Nazi juggernaut in Western Europe, 1.8 million men, is pulled apart. As soldiers prepare in Scotland for a mythical invasion, other troops believe they are preparing to attack different regions of Hitler's empire. Operation Zeppelin is aimed at the southern flank of the Third Reich in the Mediterranean. A combination of fake radio traffic and the presence of real but understrength divisions works magic. Hitler is convinced there are 3 important divisions in Egypt. German High Command sends out a directive. Allied preparations for an invasion of Northwest Europe may be a fake to cover a real attack in the Balkans. Only 1 German division is sent from the Mediterranean to France. The creation of an imaginary army is much easier than Operation Bodyguard's next objective: disguising a real one. Particularly one the size of that being assembled in southern England. The code name for this project is Operation Fortitude South. Agents of Operation Bodyguard still need to convince Hitler and his generals that the Pas de Calais is their intended primary landing objective. 19 divisions of the German 15th Army are based there. This is a third of Germany's 60 divisions in France. The Allies only have 37 divisions available for their landing in Normandy. Tying up German divisions in the Pas de Calais is a potential war winner. Operation Bodyguard must use every weapon in its armory of deceit. Its agents are faced with their toughest challenge: take over 4,000 landing craft and over 2 million men and make them disappear. Spring 1944. Some 2 million American and British troops are in southern England preparing to invade France. It seems an impossible task to disguise the massive buildup from the Germans. But the agents of Operation Bodyguard use their talents for deception to keep the Germans guessing where exactly is this massive army going to attack. One of their greatest achievements is to create the illusion that an entire army is camped out in the east of England. The operation is called Fortitude South. The fake army is the 1st U.S. Army Group. It is based in Kent near Dover, well to the east of the real Allied armies. This includes some real divisions, but it is largely fictitious. The plan, to make the Germans believe an attack at the Pas de Calais, is imminent. The flamboyant U.S. General George Patton is chosen commander of the fake army. The Germans regard Patton as a natural choice to lead the Allied assault. Patton is deeply disappointed, but he realizes the importance of his role. Later, his absence from Normandy will confirm German belief that D-Day is a diversion. All major British double agents fill their reports with information on this false army in southeast England. One Polish double agent, codenamed Brutus, is a liaison officer based inside FUSAG headquarters. He sends the Germans exclusive information on this fake army. This hoax is the most complex to date. The deception seems to be working. The German army even prints a top-secret list of insignia for these fake units. There are still 6 more steps in the Fortitude South deception. Each is codenamed Quicksilver. Quicksilver 1 is the establishment of a fictitious timetable for Pas-de-Calais landings. Quicksilver 2 begins on April 24th. It entails a dramatic increase in radio traffic by both British Royal Signals and US 3103rd Signals Service Battalion. Radio trucks move through the English countryside following the fictitious routes of the formations they represent. Their radio messages are recorded in advance. Cutting-edge technology is developed that makes it possible for one transmission to simulate 6. An entire division's radio messages can now be broadcast from just one radio truck. Altogether, their broadcasts simulate those of 9 divisions, as well as the headquarters of an army group. Quicksilver 3 is the display of artificial landing craft in Kent, England, another illusion of a massive invasion armada. Dummy landing craft are made out of canvas stretched over tubular steel frames. German reconnaissance flights monitor these craft in harbors. The fake craft are mixed with real landing boats and moored in creeks. By June, 255 dummy landing craft are moored between Falmouth and Rye. Inflatable rubber Sherman tanks add to the illusion that a concentrated buildup in southeast England is readying for an invasion at the Pas-de-Calais. Even tank tracks leading away from the rubber vehicles are faked. Dummy aircraft are made out of painted canvas pulled over scaffolding structures with wooden wings. All of this is designed to fool German reconnaissance photographs. Quicksilver 4 and 5 concern Allied bombing patterns leading up to the invasion. Attacks on coastal defenses are twice as heavy in the Pas-de-Calais as they are in Normandy. Of the 49 airfields in northern France rated before D-Day, 11 are in the Pas-de-Calais region. Only 4 are in the actual landing zone. The region north and east of the Seine receives 95% of the Allied anti-railway bombing effort. On May 29th, a massive air raid is launched against the Pas-de-Calais from Kent. The deception works brilliantly. Just 48 hours before D-Day, Rommel sends a weekly report stating that concentrated air attacks on the coastal defenses between Dunkirk and Dieppe strengthens prospects for a large-scale landing in the Pas-de-Calais area. Quicksilver 6 is the icing on the cake. 65 false lighting schemes are created along the southeast coast of England. They include an exact replica of the port and railway lighting at New Haven, but transferred to Cuckmere Haven. The extent of this mass deception does not end there. British agents used German prisoners of war released through the Swedish Red Cross. They want them to pick up signs of the fake buildup of troops in Kent. One of them, a German panzer general, Hans Kramer, is chosen for repatriation from his prison camp in southern Wales. Unbeknownst to him, his route to freedom through the English countryside is loaded with deceptive clues specifically for him to pick up on, such as vehicles with fake unit insignia. He then has dinner with General Patton, who is introduced as commander of Fusag. Patton discreetly mentions Calais in their conversation. As soon as Kramer disembarks from his Swedish ship in Germany, he goes straight to Berlin. He reports his sighting of a major military concentration in Kent aimed at the Pas-de-Calais. It appears as though Operation Bodyguard could be effective on all fronts. But not everything goes in favor of the Allies. Even their best-laid plans are vulnerable to mistakes. Some will threaten to jeopardize the entire enterprise. April 1944. The greatest amphibious landing force ever assembled is only weeks away from landing in Normandy. Tremendous efforts have been made to disguise the true objective